What is hatching, Toga peeps and PPL fans? I'm Oldmantup, coach of the Pittsburgh Pirattatas, and today we're bringing you our Week 9 matchup versus Oldmantup Marvel and the Amityville Haunters. Now, before we get into today's match, we want to go over a few things, namely the state of Melodic. As you saw in the thumbnail, Melodic got beat up last week. And I would like to say that it was different this week, but I can't. So we are going to go the extra mile to help emphasize how poorly Melodic is being treated. And every time we get some good luck on the Oldmantup side, some of that delicious shiny luck going to be shared to us by our friend A-Drive with this sound effect here.
Yes, yes, let's go!
Now, we're going to have some not so good shiny luck. The kind of shiny luck that gives you Zubats all day long when you're looking for something else. And that's going to be Mr. Ryquin with this sound effect right here.
Well, that's less than ideal.
So every time you hear that, you know something bad is happening to my team, namely Melodic. And we're going to just go the extra mile and have a little bit of fun with this today. And it's all going to be great. So those bringing you today's matchup is Ryquin's Zubat Repel, working fantastic, and A-Drive's Let's Go Fishing Bait and Tackle Shop, where you put the worm on the hook, because that's what bug types are good for. Alright guys, let's take a look at this match. Okay, we're going to get a nice look at this matchup here. Not much out of the ordinary that we thought was going to be brought. Vaporeon, because it's one of the few things that stops Megazard. Tornadus T, because it's just friggin' spooky and outpaces everything on my team. Togetic, another thing in there, probably going to be Supporter, maybe Cleric this week. Reggie Steel coming in because it walls quite a few of my things, namely Melodic and Amoonguss. So that's no bueno. So we're going to have to watch out for that. We got the Latias, always dangerous, really fast, naturally outspeeds everything on my team that I brought this week. As well as Infernape. Infernape doesn't outspeed everything. I believe both Terrakion and Galvantula speed tie with it. So that's something to keep in mind as we move forward. Something we need to just be mindful of. Thinking he's probably either going to lead with Tornadus to get some early U-turn priority, or with Infernape, if it's a lead set, could fake out Galvantula, get rid of that Sash early. And we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. Some thank yous need to go out this week. Out to Bulky Cotton Candy for genning the team this week. Gonna go to Kelly for that awesome thumbnail. Gonna go to Shroom Raver and Lars for the awesome Melodic art that went into the thumbnail. That was just fantastic, and I really appreciate that. To Ryquin for recording. To Ryquin and A-Drive for their contributions to the sound effects. To Juan for what turned out to be a really good match. And, oh, I'm forgetting somebody. We got the Jenner, we got the Recorder, we got the Thumbnailer. Last week, I don't remember if I remember to thank people, so thank you, Juan, who I'm battling this week. He genned my team last week, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't remember who recorded. So we're going to say thank you to everybody. So if you've contributed in any way, shape, or form to the Pittsburgh Pirattatas run in the PPL D2, thank you. You're all awesome. So let's get looking at this battle. So, yeah, we're going to see what's going on. And Juan is going to be challenging. And he is going to lead off with his Sun Wukong, which is Infernape. We are leading with Alpha. Now, if he outspeeds us, it's a possibility of a speed tie. But if he outspeeds us regularly, we know that he is running Scarf. He's going to outspeed his turn 1, which doesn't reveal anything. He doesn't hit us hard enough to take us out. Probably just going for a middle ground play there. Him not U-turning or going for Stealth Rocks really makes me think it's not a lead set, so I'm kind of leaning towards the Scarf at the moment. We switched out Melodic, and he's going to switch straight away, so it makes me think he doesn't have anything for us, but he makes a good play, predicting the Toxic, and goes out into Registeel. Now we're going to bring Devastator out here because we think a T-Wave is incoming. Because what happens when Melodic gets paralyzed? It gets paralyzed a lot. And we know this thing carries it, and this thing isn't going to do anything to us. So we got Steelix in here for free with that T-Wave income. We're going to set up the Stealth Rocks here because that's really important against his team. So if we can keep that up, it's really good. Scald, going to do less than 50%. Well, right about 50%.
Yes, let's go!
I'm going to get the Roar off. Luckily, no burn on that. So there's A-Drive number 1. And it's going to bring out Sun Wukong, which is probably the worst possible thing for him to be switched out into here. Just because of rocks damage. And we make a fairly hardy play. And we're just going to stay in here because he could have finished us off with something in most likeliness. But he is going to switch out into Janna the Togetic. And very well played. Seeing that Earthquake incoming, I should have just gone for the Roar. Defog's going to be coming here. And we're going to go for Gyro Ball because we opted for Gyro Ball over Heavy Slam this week because the things I needed it hit about 10 to 15% harder on each of those things. And we're going to see that's going to do virtually nothing to this Togetic. I mean, Togetic is relatively light, so that's Heavy Slam. Slow. Relatively slow, so I wasn't expecting it to do a lot. But I think he's just going to go for the Roost's turn, so I take this opportunity to reset the rocks. And that works out good. Now, I think he's going to defog here, so I think this is going to give me the opportunity to switch out and get a little bit of initiative while he defogs. We're going to bring Alpha out here because I don't think he's going to be packing anything that's really going to affect us that much. I mean, even if he's got a flying move, it's only neutral because of the electric bug typing. Now, he's going to switch out here. And he doesn't have Raichu with Lightning Rod. Thank you for letting me know that I'm an idiot and didn't know Raichu had Lightning Rod. And thank you for doing it kindly in the comment section of the Team Builder. I really need that. He's going to switch out Finley here. And this really surprised me because there's no universe that Vaporeon should be switching in. Talked to Juan. He said it was a misclick. Meant to go to Registeel. And that's really unfortunate for him. Because that's a one-shot on one of the few things holding Charizard X back. So he's going to bring in Sun Wukong. We're just going to switch back out into Madison because she will wall this thing for days if it's a complete physical set. Even if he's packing the Thunder Punch, it's not going to do that much more than what he's got right now. So the fact that he's not switching moves really has got me believing that it's Scarfed. Gonna bring this out here. Not gonna make the same mistake twice and go for the Toxic, and we're gonna snag a burn on this Registeel, which is fantastic because it's gonna negate the leftover recovery and slowly whittle this thing down. Now, I'm not gonna switch out here because I thought maybe an Earthquake and or Seismic Toss was incoming to catch the Steelix on the switch.
Yes,
and we're gonna get a crit there, which is just fantastico. And he's going to take his opportunity to set up rocks, which is really important for him because it hits just like 49.9% of health on Charizard every time I switch it in until I get a Mega off. So that's a bit unfortunate. And I see he's sitting right about half health. We're going to keep Scalding until he does something to us to make us do otherwise. Because the sooner we get this out of the way, these... I believe this is the last thing, well, plus Togetic, or Togetic, or however you want to say it, that really stands in the way of Charizard just running Ruck Shot on things, not having to worry about predicting with moves. So, like I said, again, there really isn't a reason for us to switch out. We're just going to stay in and keep scalding until this thing goes down. It's going to T-Wave us here. And why did I think I was T-Waved already? I hope I didn't say that in the middle of the narration. Lol. But we're just going to scald this thing. Like I said, I'm not worried about being paralyzed, even though it's going to be unfortunate long-term. I don't want to switch anything else in to get paralyzed, and I really wanted this thing to be whittled down as good as possible. Now, the way he's setting, he's not going to be the way he wants. And I'm just going to recover up this turn because I knew the burn was going to take it out, and I wanted to be at full health if he decided to Seismic Toss. So now I am sitting at full health, and this is where I crap my pants. Latias is going to be setting up Calm Eyes.
Well, that's less
like,
than ideal.
oh no, when we get paralyzed turn 1. So, there we go. I'm going to bring Devastator out here because sitting at relatively good health, we can take a +1 anything that isn't a super effective hit. And I think this is probably going to be running what I tried to figure out in the calcs, which was one of the standard physically bulky sets. But we're going to switch in our phaser here, Devastator, because even at +2/+2, I can take any non-super effective hit from this thing. And look at that. +2/+2 did about 33%. So a +2... woof. Not a thing to worry about. Which is going to bring out the Registeel. And Steelix just sitting here laughing in this thing's face. The only thing it can do is go for Seismic Toss. I don't have a way to get rid of hazards, so he's going to die to burn. Straight off the bat. So there's a kill for Melodic. That burn coming from the Scald. Now, I didn't want to play anything crazy here. With Melodic at full health, I knew I was going to be able to handle Latias relatively well. And Devastator, the Steelix, is going to go down to a close combat. But what I knew this would let me do would be to get something in, because I resist almost all of the moves that I've seen him with this so far. And I know a Sludge Bomb's going to hit everything super hard, and he's going to bring in his Tornadus Therian.
Yes, yes, let's go!
That damage makes me believe that he is Assault Vest.
Yes, yes,
And
let's
he's
go!
going to miss back-to-back Hurricanes. And that sucks super bad. And we're going to get a Poison on the second.
Yes, let's go!
Sludge Bomb. And that is going to be really unfortunate for him. He is going to hit this Hurricane. I was really hoping he would confuse me and I'd hit myself to kind of offset that. But Tornadus is nothing when standing in the presence of the awesome might and power of Fungus. Or Amoonguss, whichever one this is. I was just going to U-turn out here. Really thought I was going to switch apparently, and I kind of thought that was going to be what was going to happen. And I just want to stay in and, again, hit something relatively hard with a Sludge Bomb. Now we're going to hit Latias this turn,
let's
and we're
go!
going to poison it. And I'm going to call that anti-hacks.
Well, that's less
Because
than
this is going to prevent me from toxicking this thing. And that's really bad long term, because if he has enough speed investment to outpace Charizard, this thing runs through my team. And I'm going to switch out here because I really thought he was going to start setting up Calm Minds. And I get switched into a Psyshock. I'm like, God, please tell me I have enough bulk to take one. And we take one very comfortably. So I'm like, okay, I am Scarfed Adamant. Nothing on his team wants to take a Stone Edge. Nothing. And if I get a crit, I take this thing out. So, go for the Stone Edge, land it, it's going to hit, and just fall short of KOing this thing. Even after the poison damage, it's not going to be enough to take it out, and Stampede is going to go down to Latias. And that was just a bonehead play on my part. I should not have switched that in at that moment, and I'd have been able to come in and land 2 hits on this, and it not be able to kill me. So that's really, really unfortunate. I'm going to bring Madison out here, Now, I know this thing can start setting up roosts, but it doesn't have any boosts yet. So I want to see how much damage a Ice Beam is going to do, because if it's purely physically bulky at this point, I think an Ice Beam probably do right around 25-30%, and it looks like I'm hitting that, so that's really good. I'm still losing long term to the roost, but I'm forcing him to roost and giving myself leftover recovery, which is more or less what I need, because at +1, +2, I might be able to still take a hit from this thing. I'm gonna roost again, which is gonna put it up about, yeah, my numbers just went nowhere there. So Latias gonna be taking that hit, staying below half this time, and I think this is my opportunity to switch out to get something in on it, because I am losing this war very, very fast. So now's my opportunity to switch out, and he switches out at the same time, and I'm just like, no, why did you do that? That was not part of the plan. So I'm going to switch out here, and I'm going to go into Zard, because now that was the moment where I was going to come in and see if I was going to be able to outspeed his Latias. If he switched out, I would know for sure. If he didn't, then I would know that it outpaced me. So we're going to have to switch out after taking 50% damage, and that just makes me cry. And he's going to heal Bell. And I don't know that I agree with that play, because even though the poison sucked on Latias, as long as Melodic is around, she can Toxic it and make it even worse. Now, he talked to me afterwards. He really thought that I was still Scarf at this point, so the bluff worked. And he said that if I was not, Specs was the only possible way for me to kill him at that point with Togetic at full health, which is why he did not switch out and stayed in. So Galvantula has done his job and killed the bulky things. And we're just going to bring Milo back out here. Gonna Fire Punch me. He only has 2 Pokemon left.
Well, that's less than ideal.
Gonna crit. And Ice Beam. I really thought this Ice Beam was gonna kill it at this range. And then I was just like, oh yeah, it resists Ice Beam. Low. But I didn't want him to switch out into Latias and get more or less a free switch on the Scald. And I didn't want to burn it by mistake either, as silly as that sounds, because I really need to Toxic it. So what I need to do is keep myself at as high a health as possible,
well, that's less
so I can take hits from Latias when it comes in. So let's just keep in mind that this last part of the match is very drawn out, because it's going to take him like 15 turns. Well, it's going to take
less
me
than ideal.
Nearly 15 turns just to kill this Infernape, because I keep getting freaking paralyzed. So Melodic, with shades of last week's match, is just going to get paralyzed all over the place. Ideal. Now this is a 25% chance, if I remember correctly, to get paralyzed, and that is a lie. Straight up lie. Say we thought maybe if we got Melodic a new look, dyed her hair, got her a new tail fin flap cover thing, that we would be able to shake this stigma of her being paralyzed all the time. Well, apparently that didn't help, and I want my money back from Melodic, because this is just baloney.
Well, that's less than
paralyzed. Wow. And the sad thing is, I'm trying to... I wanted to... Well, I got the Toxic off, thank goodness. I was going to say, I just want to Toxic stall this thing and keep myself at high health as possible so I can deal with Latias. Because if I can get it Toxiced, it doesn't matter how many Calm Minds he sets up. I can take... I think I can take... Oh, is it +3? +3 Dragon Pulse from the health I'm at.
Well, that's less than ideal.
And not have to worry about it, but he's going to have to roost as he comes back in to get up to relatively well health, and I get paralyzed trying to Toxic this thing, and we're talking while this is going on. He's like, I know you're just trying to Toxic me. It's like, yeah, I wish I could. Well, we were talking about that with Infernape out there too. But, anyways, we're going to get the Toxic off, and it doesn't miss. I'm just like, oh, thank you. Because the Toxic is going to start stacking up on this thing. I'm going to be able to start getting off, hopefully start getting off, attacks. And at this point, I still don't know 100% for certain if this thing has enough speed to outpace my Charizard. I would think that he would have ev'd it to just speed creep over the 100 speed tier, but I don't know. I forgot to ask, and I just don't know. Now, these Ice Beams are doing little damage, but they are doing as little damage as I need them to do. Because if I outspeed this, an unboosted, which means from switching on Dragon Claw, I think does a minimum of 75% damage to fully physically bulky Latios. If that's what this is, and I have outspeed it, I'm trying to keep myself at... Well, I'm trying to keep Latios below 75% so that when the opportunity comes, I am able to wail on this thing with a Dragon Claw and guarantee it be a knockout. And with how much this damage output is, look at that.
Less than ideal.
Look how little damage. What was he at? +2? I wasn't even keeping track, but right around half. And that is why Melodic, with minimal special defense investment, only 12 EVs, could stand up to this thing, even with that. Now, he's going to have to roost this turn, and I'm really just trying to get a recover off. And we're going to get
that's less than
for
ideal.
like the 15th time this match. This 15 is going to be the number of this match. I'm just going to use it the whole time. So, just like, man, we're sitting really close to how much damage that last Dragon Pulse did. And Poison is getting to the point where it's doing about 50%. And we live with 5. And I was like, oh, holy crap. And we weren't paralyzed. When we got the recover, I was like, we might live another one and win this at 3-0. I was just like, great googly moogly. Because I actually think after Leftovers, we're sitting at a higher spot than where we were the last time. And I almost expected him to roost this turn. But he just goes for a Dragon Pulse. That is going to be enough to take out Melodic. So, low roll, high roll, back to back right there. But that is going to be the end of Guinevere. Toxic is going to take it out. And Melodic's going to rack up another kill this week. What was that? Two kills from Toxic and a kill from Burn. So 3 status induction moves there that just put Melodic up there. Really glad about that. So that was week 9 versus Juancito Marvel. Thank you very much, Juan, for that excellent match. As soon as I saw Calm Mind on Latias, I knew I was in trouble, and it nearly took me out at the end. We win 2-0, which brings our record back into the positive. We're sitting 5-4, 5 wins, 4 losses. And I'm trying to remember what my win differential is since I came into the league. I think we're 1 win over our losses. I think. We're either even or 1 up. Likely. I can't remember what the... I think that's our 3rd win? Yeah, we'll say that's our 3rd one, maybe. We beat Raiquin. We beat the Osaka Eevees and Shadow Gaming Hub, and we won today versus Juancito Marvel. And we lost our first game against Ruby Morrow and our last game against Ellie. And I think those are our only losses. So we're sitting 3-2 on the season for the PPL, which is fantastic. So if we get 1 more win in the PPL, that means we'll have as many wins as we had in Season 5, the GBA, which would be fantastic and be a real confidence boost moving forward as we go. But our last 2 matches of the season are against going into this week's number 1 and number 3 seed in the league. Number 3 being Polymac, who we will play next week in the Thunderbolt and whatever the heck they're called, Wanderers? Their name confuses me. But playing Polymac, someone who I've had the benefit of talking to since before I joined the PPL, and really looking forward to that match with him. His team is just the devil. It has Mega Pinsir and Manaphy. How did he get to draft that? Mega Pinsir and Manaphy. One of the 2 best Megas in this format, and Manaphy. So, not looking forward to that combo. It's just going to be wonderful to prep for that match. Wonderful. And, yeah. So, that's going to be fun. And then, that's going to be week 10. And then week 11, we play the, going into this week, number 1 seed, which is Montatui, in the Luxray. Where are they from? I don't remember. Tampa Bay? They Tampa Bay Luxray? Because of the Rays? Yeah. We're going to go with that. Tampa Bay Luxray. Montatui, the fellow GBA friend, one of our head analysts. That isn't a real position. I just made it up because I like mono. But, yeah, we're going to be playing him. He's currently... Was he undefeated going into this week? And his Megalopony hadn't died yet. So we'll have to wait and see if that holds true through the next, through this week and the next week. So 2 weeks, I guess, until we'll be playing him. And we may be looking to be his only loss of this season, which I would really like that. It would be really nice because we are just barely hanging on to being a part of the what they call the playoff. This is based off the Premier League European football setup. And what happens is the top 2 seed from the D League, the D League, the Division 2, move up to the Division 1. The 2 bottom seeds from Division 1 move down to Division 2. And the top 3rd seed from Division 2 and I'm going to say the bottom 3rd, I don't know how many teams are in D1, they play off against each other, and whoever wins goes to Division 1 or stays there. So we can't get any higher than the 3rd spot in the league in Division 2, but it is still within our grasp. We have to beat Poly and we have to beat Mono in order to make that a reality. And quite a few things have to happen to like 5 people. We have to win our last 2 matches. Like 3 people need to lose one of their last 2 matches. Another person has to lose both of their last matches, and another person has to lose both of their last matches. So we're going to take this one step at a time, as that the odds of that happening are about the same odds as Melodic getting paralyzed double-digit times 2 weeks in a row. Wait, that did happen. So anyways, we're looking forward to that. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video in the sound effects, please hit that thumbs up button. And Raikkonen will go, yes, yes, let's go. If you hit the thumbs down button, A-Drive said that, Raikkonen will say, this is less than ideal. And yeah, so that's what's going to happen. Alright guys, it's been Oldmantup, and I've been talking for way too long already. This is going to be over a half-hour video. Haven't put one of those up in a long time, so I hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the flip side, guys. Peace.